The Newsday continues here on One News Now. I'm Riza Diaz. Now, while several residents near Taal are now in evacuation centers due to the recent activity of the volcano, some still opted to stay behind. For more details, we have JC Cosico reporting live from Agoncillo, Batangas. JC, can you tell us the latest?
Riza, residents from high-risk barangays Bilibinuang and Banyaga are here at the Agoncillo Central School following the unrest of Taal volcano. Now, we talked to some of them earlier.
Adoracion Suarez is just one of the residents near Taal volcano who decided to stay in an evacuation center. She says she was surprised with a sudden eruption of the volcano.
Sigawan ang aking mga kahanggan. Ang sabi na mga pamangkin, Tiya, maghanda kayo, tuloy labas ako. Bakit ga? Ang bulkan ay sumabog.
But what fears Suarez more is that her son is suffering from stroke.
Ay napakahirap ka, kundi siyempre ikaw papaligo. Ako pa rin na nagpapaligo diyan. Ang aking hinihiling sa Panginoon Diyos, huwag nang lumakas yan para huwag na kami mapalayo.
Another evacuee, Janica Cao, shared that the eruption was followed by mud-like rains. Like the others, she's also worried for the safety of her 2-year-old daughter.
Natakot kasi kami kasi noong July kasi, nung umalis kami doon, hindi naman gano'n. Talagang putok lang siya. Tapos ngayon kasi may kasama siyang ulan tapos may mga putik na patak sa bubong.
Despite Taal's unrest, there are still others who chose not to evacuate to safer areas. Take the case of 73-year-old Melesio Landicho who lives near the Taal Lake.
Tatakot din naman ang kaunti.
Bakit po?
Baka nga mabigla Ay matanda na hindi makalakad. Hindi ko maiwan ng bahay.
Bakit po?
Ay ako'y mayroong kaunting mga gawa ay baka kumalimas na naman.
Local officials are now calling on residents from high-risk areas to evacuate for their safety. Agoncillo Mayor Daniel Reyes said a window hour from 6 a.m. to 12 noon will be implemented on Sunday.
Yung mga kailangan na magpatoka at magpakain ng alaga nilang hayop, may window hours po tayo.
As of 11 a.m. on Saturday, over 100 families are staying in 5 evacuation centers in Agoncillo.
Riza, it will depend on Taal's activity if residents will be allowed to go home or not. Well, apart from Agoncillo, there are also select barangays in Laurel which were recommended to evacuate. Riza.
Thank you and stay safe. That's JC Cosico reporting live from Agoncillo, Batangas. In election news, candidates for local posts continue going around their localities after they kicked off their campaign on Friday. Marty Bautista with a report.
It's just the first day of the official campaign period for local candidates, and things are already heating up. In Quezon City, incumbent Mayor Joy Belmonte made a direct blow to an unnamed candidate.
Yung iba dyan, mas inuna ang pagpapasara sa ABS-CBN. Yan may resibo. Yan ang ipaliwanag mo sa mga tao na habang nasa gitna tayo ng krisis, libo-libong pamilya ang nagtiis at natiis mong mawalan ng trabaho.
Belmonte is running against Congressman Mike Defensor, who voted for the non-renewal of ABS-CBN's franchise. But Defensor has a different take on the matter.
Kongreso ang gumawa nun. At dapat sana, nung speaker yung tatay niya, si Speaker Sonny Belmonte, 2014, when ABS-CBN applied, dapat inapprove na nila that time.
Meanwhile, in Pasig, the atmosphere couldn't be less heated. This as incumbent Mayor Vico Soto is up against Vice Mayor Io Bernardo for the mayoral post. Before the campaign period, Bernardo had filed a cyber libel case against Soto.
Nakipagtrabaho naman po tayo sa mga ibang halal ng bayan. Nirerespeto po natin sila at nahirapan po tayo dahil hindi tayo pareho ng prinsipyo sa mga ibang nakaupo.
In Manila, 6 candidates are vying for the local office's highest post. But among them are 2 candidates fighting to be the city's first female mayor. Incumbent Mayor Honey Lacuna relies on her experience.
9 na taon po ako na konsihal, naging 3 taon po akong direktor ng Manila Department of Social Welfare.
While candidate Christy Lim appeals to the public via her maternal instincts.
Kailangan na ng taong bayan, ng mamamayan ng lungsod ng Maynila ang haplos ng isang ina, ang pagkalinga at tamang pag-aaruga sa kanila.
In Caloocan City, meanwhile, the battle is between two representatives. Rivals Congressman Along Malapitan, son of incumbent Mayor Oka, and Congressman Egay Erice had both started their campaigns with a mass. The two were competing to secure their votes of over 700,000 registered voters in the city. For News 5, Marty Bautista, We Are One News.
We'll be back with more stories after the break. Keep it here on One News. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Riza Diaz. Residents near Taal have started to evacuate following the volcano's recent unrest. Let's talk more about this with NDR-RMC spokesperson, Mr. Mark Timbal. He's joining us over the phone this afternoon. Good afternoon, Sir Timbal.
Hi, Ms. Riza. Good afternoon, and to our viewers as well. Good afternoon, everyone.
Sir, can you give us the latest count of the evacuees near the Taal volcano?
Yes. As of this lunchtime, ongoing evacuation activities have been tagged in the municipality of Agoncillo and Laurel. In Agoncillo, we have received information that 178 families have already been evacuated from the high-risk communities that had been identified by FIVOX. In Laurel Municipality, we have received information that there are 84 families that had been evacuated. That would be around 222 individuals, Ms. Riza.
Sir, Mark, how many evacuation centers have been made available for them?
Early this morning, we were told that there were 5 schools that had been used, as well as 1 covered court to serve as temporary shelter for these evacuated populations.
Sir, some residents, we get reports that these residents refuse to leave their homes. They refuse to evacuate. What should be the procedure for that?
Well, local government units are encouraged to make sure that all residents in areas that have been identified as high risk should be evacuated. And more or less what's happening now is that the local government unit operatives are negotiating with the residents so that they would be able to leave the area. However, if I'm not mistaken, some of our counterparts in the uniformed services have been given orders that if the situation escalates, the volcanic activity escalates, some of them might implement forced evacuation activities. But as of this time, local government units assisted by our uniformed services are doing the usual evacuation.
Sir Mark, aside from watching the window hours, what other measures do you suggest for the residents living around Taal volcano?
We received advice from our counterparts from FIVOX that the wearing of N95 masks are encouraged so that inhalation of dust from the volcano or toxic substances could be prevented. And also local government units are making preparations for the distribution of relief items, family food packs and other necessities in the evacuation centers. Other government agencies are also preparing to augment the supplies of these local government units so that the evacuated population will not experience shortages in terms of food items.
Sir, finally, we certainly hope it won't, but in the event that the situation escalates, how is the NDRRMC preparing for that possibility of more eruptions?
Yes, our experience in 2020 and 2021 in terms of Taal's activity had made us more than ready for this kind of emergency. The local government units know what to do. They have the contingency plan for volcanic emergencies. The line agencies of the national government under the NDRRMC have also made the necessary preparations as what was practiced during our simulation activities for the worst-case scenario of the Taal eruption. So everyone's ready. Preparations have been done, and assistance for those affected communities are on the way.
Well, thank you, sir, for sharing with us those information. That's NDRRMC spokesperson Mark Timbal. Let's now take a quick look at today's other top stories. After the big-time rollback this week, UniOil projects that the prices of diesel would increase once again by up to 8 pesos and 30 centavos per liter next week. Gasoline prices are likewise expected to rise up to 3 pesos and 10 centavos. Meanwhile, Earth Hour will be observed later tonight worldwide. The Worldwide Fund for Nature says the activity aims to raise awareness on key environmental issues that the country's future leaders should act on. Now, in the Philippines, Earth Hour will start at 8:30 p.m. And it was a close and intense fight between the NU Bulldogs and the Adamson Soaring Falcons in the UAAP Season 84 Game 2 today. NU took the match with just a 2-point lead, 71-69. The first battle of Katipunan between UP and Ateneo this season is up next. Now, for more updates, visit News 5, The Philippine Star, and Business World Online. Visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. You can also catch One News on Signal Play app. Register for a free account now at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. I'm Riza Diaz. Mask on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. We are One News.